And we did hear the IEBC chairperson, Wafula Chebukati, make reference to them and say that about 97% were in. When I last checked, it was at 98%. You've just given the latest update. Also part of what he spoke about when he addressed the media this afternoon was that they have 7 days to declare the presidential result. True, that is according to Article 138 of the Constitution. Now, depending on how that result goes, there are 5 scenarios. Scenario 1. Now, for a person to be elected president, they must garner more than half of the votes cast. And 25%, at least 25% in half of the 47 counties. That is about, let's say, 24 counties, that is? Yes, those are the 2 criteria set out in the Constitution for a person to be declared elected as president-elect, I think is how we put it. Now, should that result go unchallenged, then this is now scenario 1. The swearing in of the president-elect should be done on the first Tuesday following the 14th day of the declaration of results. So that is scenario 1. Outright winner on account of garnering more than half the votes and on account of garnering more than 25% in 24 counties. That is a win. And if it should go unchallenged on the first Tuesday after 14 days of the declaration of that result, then that will be the first scenario. They will be sworn in. Scenario 2, should that result be challenged, anybody challenging that result would have to do so within 7 days of the declaration of results and challenge it at the Supreme Court. Once it is challenged at the Supreme Court, as Kenyans, we've been through this process, I think, at least twice. Once it's been challenged in the Supreme Court has 14 days to hear and determine the petition. The president-elect, should the Supreme Court uphold the win, the president-elect should be sworn in on the first Tuesday following the 7th day on which the court renders a verdict. What happens should the win be invalidated by the Supreme Court? Again, as Kenyans, we've lived through this. Fresh elections shall be held within 60 days after that determination. Now, that is scenario 3. Scenario 4, yes, if no candidate garners more than half of the votes cast, or at least 25% of the votes cast in each of at least 24 counties, then fresh elections. I think this is what people are referencing or calling. Kipchumba Karori can provide insight into this on the other side of this presentation. But this is what people are calling a runoff. So a fresh election shall be held within 30 days after the previous elections. So 30 days after August 9th, within that period is when a fresh election would be held. Now, the election will not be between all 4 candidates as we have it now. It would be between the 2 candidates who scored the highest. In this case, either or, should it happen, Raila Odinga, William Ruto, as the numbers stand now. And the candidate who receives the most votes in a fresh poll shall be declared elected as president. Now here comes in scenario 4. Within that scenario of a fresh election within 30 days, if the win goes unchallenged, then the winner, we revert to scenario 1, where 14 days on the first Tuesday after 14 days of the declaration of results, then they would be sworn in. Scenario 5, within the fresh election scenario, should that win again be challenged, then we go through the Supreme Court process again. So those are the 5 scenarios that we face, depending on that result that IEBC will declare. Zainab Ismail, back to you.
All right, thanks, Olive. At least now we have a better understanding of what the Constitution says when it comes to the end of this entire election process, which is the declaration of results. Very interesting insights there. And